Well, hey everybody, this is Chris DiFurio with Keys to the Shop. Welcome to another edition of Shift Break. Today's episode is brought to you by La Marzocco, who's been making espresso machines by hand in Florence since 1927. So that's nearly 100 years of beauty, dependability, and innovation. Today, innovation is embodied in machines like the KB90 with the straight-in locking portafilters, the scales in the drip tray, as well as the auto flush feature, which keeps things clean and working well. Of course, you've got the classic Linea, but you've got the Linea PB, which has all of the classic design of the Linea, but the technology of today to allow baristas ultimate control over the extraction, as well as equipment like the Leva espresso machine, which incorporates the classic lever design, which is where we get the term of pulling a shot of espresso, of course. And so La Marzocco offers variety for the variety of coffee shops that are out there. So they have something that fits your needs exactly. Go ahead and email info@lamarzocco.usa.com. Talk to one of their salespeople, and they'll help you get situated with the right equipment for your cafe. And check out their website also at lamarzocco.usa.com. Today's episode is also brought to you by Rattleware. So this company, Rattleware, has been around for quite a long time. And one of the things that drives them is that their smallwares, the steaming pitchers, the knock boxes, the tampers, the whisks, and you name it, that stuff it's kind of in the background, but it helps the whole business be stable. And, you can't get by without smallwares. They're actually a big deal. And so they know that at Rattleware, and that's why they strive to make smallwares that just work. They outfit you with that equipment over at rattleware.com. Check them out today and use them for your smallware needs. Again, that's over at rattleware.com. Okay, everyone. Well, today we're going to be talking about the idea of just doing it. And a long time ago we had a episode called Don't Just Do It. It was actually talking about delegating things. And now we're going to come full circle to when you should just do it. And that has to do mainly with when you come up with an idea for what you can do to improve things in the cafe. And it's not something that's so large that it's going to upset everything or require a whole different learning or understanding, that it's better for you, I think, rather than talking about it and telling everybody your plan and getting that kind of a fake reward, almost like when people are so excited when you tell them about what you're going to do for them, you get the reward of their admiration for you thinking about doing it. But the execution suffers because you've talked so much about it. The energy is just misused. And we often don't follow through because we talk too much about doing it. Rather, we have to cultivate an attitude or a behavior where we actually take action on things that need to happen. And a lot of this stuff is stuff we've already maybe talked about, because I think as an operator, you have good intentions for your cafe and for your people. And you've maybe talked about how you're going to fix X, Y, and Z, or you're going to look into a few different topics that have to do with updating softwares or tools and equipment, or getting better about communication and that kind of thing. Instead of re-bolstering yourself with more declarations and more ideas and sort of procrastinating where you're thinking, well, I need to learn a few more things about this before I go ahead and do it. It's better for you to become, in the minds of people that are watching you, the type of person who takes action for the benefit of others in an imperfect, not a foolish way, not a hasty way, but a reasonably researched, but definitely acted upon and followed through manner. That is way better than trying to find the perfect solution so that you just have this one time we're going to do this and one time only. Now, I recognize that if you are talking about replacing a grinder, for example, with something else, and it costs you thousands and thousands of dollars to do that, you're not just going to go and be like, well, I want to be seen as the type of person who takes action, so I'm just going to buy whatever I come up with. If I just close my eyes and hit the keyboard a few times and whatever comes up, I'm going to get it. No, that's not what we're saying. I recognize there are situations that you need to do due diligence. No one's saying don't learn about the thing that you need to make a decision on. But what I am saying is that don't let learning and don't let planning and conversation around these things rob you of the joy of seeing this thing actually come to pass. And don't let the fear of the imperfect execution of something in the right direction make you not take action at all. I have a feeling like that's what stops people. So, some of the things that I'll be talking about in the next couple of weeks or so have to do with some thoughts I've formed while at Coffee Fest in New Orleans. And this is one of them because there was somebody there in the class that was talking about how they wanted to do some kind of a better system for their business. And the idea there was, okay, we need to look to get this solved once and for all. Orders are not being done correctly, and sometimes the inventory is not being done at all, and we're running out of things. And the solution was a good solution. It's one of these technological solutions where it's this, system. We need a new POS system that helps us always track what we're selling so we're never out of things. And people have used software that counts your inventory through your sales to a lot of success. Okay, that's one thing. But the problem is not a technological problem. The problem is actually a behavioral problem. So on one hand, you have inventory not being done correctly, or maybe even not being delegated correctly. So there's no understanding that we're actually supposed to do it. That's the first step. If you just had a paper and pen and said at 3 p.m. every day, every barista that's working at this shift at 3 p.m. every day, you need to take inventory. And when you do that, this is so rudimentary. You just take a photo of it and send it to me, and then I'll make some orders. The trick here is following through on an imperfect system to create sort of a perfect attitude and a perfect behavior in the direction of the use of that tool and the need for inventory. So instead of jumping right to the conclusion that we need to wait until we can afford to invest in this big POS system, which would require across the company change and training, all of that will make you not want to do it. And actually, it might not ever happen because you will dread the resistance that comes with it. And so you have to make these steps easy for yourself. And you actually have to just make these kinds of decisions regularly and not put them off. And so, really, today's message is if you've got these things that you're supposed to be doing that you've talked about and you've put it off because you're trying to wait for a perfect solution, a perfect software tool or something like that, but you've researched it, kind of what you need to do, it's just kind of a procrastination, then just do it and stop talking about it. Just get it done and marvel in the imperfection of it. However, then reflect on the value of momentum that is being built up as you make these decisions. The momentum is going to carry you into a future where you are actually a better steward of better tools. And so this is actually a journey in becoming a better leader and changing a little bit of who you are and becoming more capable with all of these micro decisions that you make along the way. So the message is don't talk about things so much, just try to take action on them a little bit more consistently, and don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. That classic saying, right? Back to our example from the class. If we're not taking inventory the right way, let's start taking inventory our way. Let's start taking inventory at all. And then we'll start perfecting the tools we use. But let's not make the tools the point. Let's make ourselves the point. And the behaviors that we'll be able to steward better solutions in the future comes from being decisive in the moment to take small steps toward a direction that makes you a better cafe and a better professional. So I hope that this makes sense and that it has helped you a little bit today think about what you need to do in the next steps in your business. And as always, I'm really grateful for you joining me here on the show. And don't forget to subscribe and let me know if you have any questions, comments, or feedback. You can email chris@keystotheshop.com. And you can also talk with me one-on-one if you want to set up a free discovery call, talk about coaching and consulting for you or your business and your team, chris@keystotheshop.com. And that's it for today. Thanks everyone so much, and we'll see you here next week on another edition of Shift Break, from keys to the shop.